Hi, in today's video, we basically going to deal with the very first element of market cipher B, which is called VWAP. And VWAP is basically a momentum wave, which is a one fraction or one fragment of market cipher B. Like I said, market cipher B is made up of different oscillators or waves, which has different functional abilities and all has direct influence on price. The very direction of price is influenced by majority of these oscillators or waves. And in today's video, I'm going to deal with the first one called VWAP. So let's go to the chart and see how VWAP works. VWAP is essentially a wave, and you can see in market cipher B, VWAP is basically this yellow line. And you can see, like I said earlier on, it crosses the zero line, which is the median or the mediator line. It crosses either up or down, and with this movement, price is literally affected by these movements. Like I told you earlier on, there's a big difference between indicators and oscillators. Oscillators or waves moves, indicators print out. So you could see these are just static algorithms, they just print out, and all of these indicators has different functional abilities. In other words, these are just a fragment of data, but their influence on price cannot be compared with that of oscillators because oscillators moves in accordance with price. So in today's video, basically I'm going to deal with how VWAP literally affects price and how price respects the very direction of VWAP, which is an oscillator. So from this side, you can realize that VWAP headed towards the upward territories, and you can realize that price responded to the very direction of VWAP. Let me show you this place. From this side to this side, price seems to be heading upwards, and you could see that the candle went green a little bit, came back to red because VWAP couldn't literally cross the zero line. It came back to the negative territories and price dropped, and again it went upwards and price went upwards. Then we registered what we called a black diamond, which is a bearish signal, and price dropped. Again, VWAP also dropped, came back down to the negative territories because we were bearish. And when VWAP decided to also go backwards, you can realize that price went upwards. Again, these are oscillators, these are waves, and this is just one piece of an oscillator, and it moves in accordance with every direction of price. If price seems to be going upwards, VWAP also shows there's an upward movement. So there is no way you can compare your Google Maps, like I said, with oscillators. There is no way you can compare this Google map with your road signs. These are your road signs, and road signs serves its purpose when you are traveling, but road signs doesn't give you real-time data. Road signs basically shows you your distance ahead and how much distance you are going to cover, but these Google Maps literally shows you or gives you real-time empirical data pertaining to your journey, that it can literally suggest maybe if there's an upcoming traffic, you can use an alternative route, which will probably help you make your journey very smooth. So basically, these are how the oscillators work. They move all the time, and they either cross the zero line upwards or downwards. An upward movement means we are heading towards the buy signal or the positive territories, and a downward movement means we're heading towards the negative territories or the selling territories. Like I told you, there's nothing like a semi buy and a semi sell. Trading is always more or less like absolute decision. It's either upwards and it's either downwards, and it's either consolidation. There is nothing like a semi upwards or a mini upwards. Neither do we have what we call a mini downwards. It's either upwards or downwards or consolidates. And these oscillators literally shows you how price responds to the very direction of these waves. A critical example is this side. VWAP crossed the zero line, went upwards. There was a slight pump here. Then we saw these bearish indicators printed upwards, and price dropped. You can realize that VWAP came back to the negative territories. So again, you can backtest and see how VWAP responds or VWAP moves in accordance to the very direction of price. And again, this is just a fragment. This is just one single element of market cipher B. And market cipher B is made up of various or different oscillators which has different functional abilities and all affect the very direction of price. So with time, you could realize that with all these oscillators moving in different or the same direction, price literally respects these movements. And with time, we appreciate that trading is technically a directional affair, not necessarily a signal affair. These are just road signs, like I said earlier on, and these are just your Google Maps. So if you think Google Map helps make your journey very smooth, then again it means Google Map is either superior to your road signs, and Google Map becomes more or less like your first basis of reference point in terms of deciding how to read the very direction of price, and road signs becomes your supplementary to which more or less that validate the direction of an asset. So you don't literally look on your road signs before you trade, you look on your Google Maps before you trade. So basically VWAP serves its purpose by crossing either up or down and affecting the very direction of price. And I really want to take much of your time in this video. Like I said earlier, let's also keep it simple and let it be straightforward. So the next video I'm probably going to talk about a different element of market cipher B, and we're going to see how it works as well. Have a nice time. Peace.